Now at 10, an old vacant school in Pittsburgh is finding new life. We'll have details. Plus, why not all educators support a Missouri bill which would give school districts more leeway on teacher pay. And the Joplin Eagle boys basketball team hit the floor for a rivalry game against Webb City, and we have the highlights in sports.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
A nonprofit organization has plans for an abandoned school in Pittsburgh. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Washington School has been vacant and abandoned for decades, and it'll now be repurposed into a daycare. Nonprofit organization Point Forward is addressing the critical shortage of childcare options in southeast Kansas. The nonprofit plans for redevelopment will cost $5.5 million.
There's been a school on that property since 1887. The building has been a salvage yard since about the last 50 years. So we've been in recent months cleaning it up, getting it ready for renovation. Architects and engineers are nearly done with the schematics.
After the redevelopment, the nonprofit will hand the daycare to a local organization for operations. A bill going through the Missouri General Assembly would let school districts have more leeway when paying their teachers. Reporter Marina Silva tells us why not all educators are for it.
Which causes it to do our effect, which is be brighter.
Across the state of Missouri, like this one at Jolie Barber in Laclede County, it's hard to find teachers to fill classrooms. That's why one state lawmaker, Republican Representative Ed Lewis, wants his new bill to pass.
This one is addressing, I think, what we would say hard to staff areas and hard to staff schools. And one thing that we all know is that there are certain positions that are harder to fill in schools than other positions.
He says to get people in those hard to fill open positions, you may have to pay some teachers more.
You may have to raise that salary schedule, raise that person on salary schedule to entice especially new people into working in a certain particular school.
But Superintendent Dr. Rochelle Jennings says increasing some teachers' salaries and not others could be a bad idea.
We don't want competition between, I'm showing up every day and so are you, and we're essentially teaching the same number of kids every day. It's just your topic is a little bit harder to find someone, and my topic's a little easier to find someone to fill that role. That probably wouldn't be a healthy culture to live and work in.
The bill still needs to be passed on the House floor before moving on. A baseball stadium in Carthage closes because of safety concerns. The Carl Luton Stadium in Carthage has been home to the Carthage Tigers baseball program for more than 50 years until now. Carthage's city engineer declared it's unfit and unsafe for occupancy due to situations with black mold, electrical wires being exposed, and other structural hazards.
We had received a call from the city regarding what they believe is unsafe. It's something I think everybody recognized. It has been like that for many years, but for some reason the city determined at this point the best thing is to shut it down.
The kids can still practice on the field. We just can't have any of the general public or spectators in up and around on the stands and in the building in any way.
They don't have a lot of time to find a place to play. The baseball season starts next month. The Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department is asking for your help to help with a vandalism problem in the town. They say today alone they responded to 18 calls of vandalism. The vandalism calls pertain to cars, homes, garages, fences that were spray painted with profanity and other tags. So far, the calls seem to be in the area of South Crawford to Couch and 4th to 8th Street. If you have any information or home security footage that might aid with the investigation, please ask that you give them a call. Kind of chilly, kind of windy out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, of course, we had the showers. We had the thunderstorms during the morning hours. Then we got a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, a few more showers during the evening hours, but it's been super windy. We've had winds gusting, 40 upwards of 50 at times. 57 was our high temp, above normal. Look at the bands of thunderstorms throughout the morning hours. A break, another little band late this evening, but now this storm system, it's heading away from us. So this one's out. Next one we'll start to focus in on as it comes in tomorrow night. But look at rainfall amounts. You can see in the green over a half an inch. Most of us picked up right around a half an inch of rain, which is great. Officially at the airport, 0.42 inches, 1.77 is where we stand for the month. So as we go through the night, it is going to be chilly down into the upper 30s. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow prior to our next storm system, which I'll give you those details here in a bit.
See you soon. A Missouri judge today overturned the conviction of Lamar Johnson, a St. Louis man who spent nearly 28 years in prison for a murder he says he did not commit. Johnson, now 50, was convicted of murder for the 1994 fatal shooting of Marcus Boyd. Police and prosecutors blamed the killing on a dispute over drug money. Johnson maintained he was innocent from day one, saying he was with his girlfriend miles away when the crime occurred. The case for Johnson's release was centered around a key witness who recanted his testimony, and a prison inmate also who says it was he, not Johnson, who participated in that murder. 11 states, including Missouri, are considering a right to repair for farming equipment. The states introduced bills that would force farming manufacturers, equipment manufacturers, to provide the tools, software, parts, and manuals needed for farmers to do their own repairs. The bills are a response to farmers unable to repair their own tractors and combines, which forces them to wait sometimes days and pay steep labor costs. The proposition has found pushback from some manufacturers worried about releasing trade secrets and the safety of users. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today announced a new set of Family First Prevention grants totaling around $20 million. The money will go toward creating and growing programs designed to keep families together and preventing children from entering the foster care system. The Family First Prevention programs have helped more than 3,000 Kansas children remain with their families. The American College of Physicians recognizes a Pittsburgh State University physician with the high-ranking award of mastership. Dr. Kathleen Sandness is grateful for the award and says she's proud to work with students and the staff at PSU's Health Center. She attributes her success to her willingness to learn and adapt.
And then finished my residency in 1991, and that's when I started private practice. That was before cell phones. That was before the box phones. And think about how medicine has changed.
The Mastership Award is the highest attainable award for college physicians. Our congratulations. Coming up, the investigation into yesterday's shooting deaths at Michigan State University.
We're learning more about the victims killed at Michigan State University when police say a gunman opened fire on campus here Monday night. I'm Erica Moke with the latest on the investigation and how police were able to identify their suspect.
Plus, the White House talks about the purpose of the 3 objects shot down recently. Police at Michigan State University are still searching for a motive following yesterday's mass shooting that left 3 dead, 5 injured. The 43-year-old gunman is also dead. Now students and community members are coming together to remember the victims. Reporter Erica Moke is in East Lansing, Michigan with the latest.
Valentine's Day flowers meant for loved ones are now for loved ones lost at this makeshift memorial at Michigan State University. Students here are in mourning after police say a gunman killed 3 of their classmates Monday night.
The places that everything happened are the places I find comfort in, and now it's a crime scene.
Police identified those killed as junior Ariel Anderson, an aspiring pediatrician, sophomore Brian Frazier, president of his fraternity, and junior Alexandria Werner, an athlete whose positivity changed lives.
Her kindness and compassion were second to none. You know, to have lost that is tragic.
Campus police say the gunman had no affiliation with the university, and they're still looking for a motive.
We don't have an answer right now, and that's the honest truth.
Authorities say 43-year-old Anthony McRae began his rampage at Berkey Hall, killing 2 and injuring several others. He then went to the student union, killing 1 more. McRae later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound during a confrontation with police.
It was a caller's tip that led law enforcement to that suspect.
Michigan's top Democrats hope this mass shooting will be a wake-up call for gun control.
As parents, we tell our kids it's going to be okay. We say that all the time. But the truth is, words are not good enough.
MSU canceled classes for the rest of the week. Erica Moke, CBS News, East Lansing, Michigan.
This is the second school shooting for some MSU students. The first was 15 months ago at an Oxford, Michigan high school. And one student attended Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut during the 2012 shooting. The White House acknowledged today the 3 still unidentified aerial objects shot down by the U.S. in the past week probably had a, quote, benign purpose. It draws a distinction between them and the massive Chinese balloon that earlier traversed the U.S. with a suspected goal of surveillance. A little bit later, a Fort Scott couple shares their love story on how they met decades ago at a roller rink.
Plus, we got more rain in the forecast for tomorrow night. We're going to give you those details coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a wet one for us today. We had those showers, we had those thunderstorms during the morning hours. Got a little bit of sunshine all over the place. Very strong winds. Now we're clearing out. That storm system is moving away. Here's a nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temperatures still are pretty good. I mean, it's cooling down, but pretty good. We're in the mid upper 40s, northern counties, all the way up to the upper 50s in our southern counties. But I think most of us will drop back mid to upper 30s a little bit later on tonight. But one big story for us today has been the winds. The winds have been very strong. We've had these southwesterly winds still sustained 15 to 25. We had gusts upwards of 50 just over the past couple hours. But now you can see they're starting to calm down a little bit on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. Still pretty strong on the Missouri and Arkansas side, but everybody, all these winds are going to start to back down a little bit as we go through the overnight hours. Currently outside 52, west-southwesterly winds at 15, humidity is at 59%. Through the overnight hours, we do drop back upper 30s, but we start the day with sunshine, which is good. And actually tomorrow's going to be a pretty good day ahead of our next storm system. All right, clearing out now. This storm system rotating out of here, classic comma shape. This system is heading out. This system is moving in, out across the Rockies. That system will start to affect us tomorrow night. So let's take you through time over the next 48 hours. Mid to upper 30s by morning, most of us clear. As we go through the day, it's a strange day across the entire 4-state area. If you live north, cooler with clouds. If you live south, warmer with sun. So the northern counties hang out with the clouds all day. Chanute, Yates Center, Fort Scott, Nevada, you guys stay in the 40s. As you work farther south, we have the 50s. We have a front in our southern counties. Once you get into our southern counties, we're going to shoot 60 upwards to 70 in our southern counties. So we're going to have about a 25 to 30 degree swing across the region. Tomorrow night, here comes the clouds, showers, even a few scattered thunderstorms. This is late evening, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. This band is out of here by about 1 o'clock in the morning. Then after midnight, especially our northern counties, we get a little bit of sleet, a little bit of snow mixing in, and some light showers across the region. Most of this is going to be gone by the time we head into Thursday morning. As we go into Thursday, significantly colder temperatures. Look at our high temps. We're only going to be 34, 35 degrees, and then we'll start to clear out and get cold by the time we head into Friday morning. All right, let's go back to the winter weather. Northern counties, very minor accumulations with what we see tomorrow night. Not really a big deal. Everybody else stays on the liquid side. 39 in the morning, 55 by noon. High temp of 58 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast. 34 on Thursday. That's it. 44 Friday, 46 Saturday. Once we get to Sunday, we start to warm back up, and then we have some weak waves on Monday and Tuesday, and then a much bigger storm system that will roll in next week, next Wednesday and Thursday.
I know we will learn more as we get closer and closer.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. Love is a beautiful, sometimes everlasting thing, and some folks have experienced for a really long time. Well, on this Valentine's Day, we visited a nursing home in Joplin for some advice on what to do for a long, successful relationship. One tip, communication is key.
We talk to each other about everything. If we get a problem with each other, we tell each other and we talk it out.
If you'd like to submit a picture of who you think about for Valentine's Day, we would love to see it. Go online to our Facebook page, KOAM News Now, find our pinned post. Another couple has enjoyed a whole lot of Valentine's Days. Larry and Jonna K. Ballou from Fort Scott, Kansas are celebrating their 64th anniversary this year. The couple met at a skating rink at Fort Scott in 1957 when Larry asked Jonna to skate with him. They say sometimes there are days when you don't talk to each other, but then you remember what's important in life, the relationship.
Just like your job, if you don't work at your job, you don't have a job. And the marriage is kind of like a job. You have to work at it every day of your life. You have to give, forget, be kind, be mad, be happy. I mean, it's life.
Some words of wisdom there. The couple still lives in Jonna K's childhood home, a place they say is always open to family and friends. We hope they had a great Valentine's Day. Students at Frank Layden Elementary School in Frontenac, Kansas celebrated Valentine's Day with a class party. Students passed out candy and toys and played some games.
Yeah, I think my mom's, we're about to do games like for Valentine's Day. Like right here, that's a note, and I think it's scrambled up words. And so we're supposed to solve what it's supposed to spell.
Kids also passed out notes and even whoopee cushions. They say they had a blast with those, I can imagine. Still ahead, the Joplin boys host a COC rivalry game against Webb City, and the Carl Junction girls hit the floor on senior night against Neosho. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and a lot more coming up next.
Well, the Joplin Eagles have just 10 days and 5 games remaining in the basketball regular season. Now, the first of those 5 is tonight at home against COC rival Webb City. And Joplin won 5 out of 6 coming into the night. Webb City trying to snap a 3-game skid. Now, off the opening tip here, Colton Keith right to the basket. He scores 23 tonight to lead Webb City. Other end, Whit Hafer, huge game. He hits 5 threes tonight, finishes with 23 points, 7 rebounds. Game tied after 1. The second quarter, Alex Martin cutting to the rim off the window here. Martin gets 15 for the Cards. Terrence Gibson working inside. Gibson gets 27 to lead the Eagles. Joplin leads at half, and they would finish it off. All right, tough shot goes here. He scores 13 with 5 assists. We're going back to Gibson, though. Breaks away here for the one-handed jam. Joplin gets a big win tonight over Webb City, 81-64. Carl Junction now, it is senior night. The CJ girls ranked #1 in the state, facing Neosho. Sophomore Desi Williams, good early for Carl Junction. Steals and heads the other way for the easy lay-in. Then late first, just open on the far side. 3 is good. Williams 12 in the first half, 14 for the game. Second quarter, Destiny Berge, strong drive here. She finishes and scores 24 tonight. Then fellow senior Chloe Burke open for 3. Bulldogs up big at half. We go to the third quarter. Hallie Shorter gets in on the action. Deep ball from the corner. Kylie Scott gets a deep ball of her own here. Scott scores 15 tonight for Carl Junction. Bulldogs roll by Neosho on senior night, 74-31. Now to the boys. CJ trying for a sweep on senior night. The Bulldogs scored first, but then Kale Smith gets going for Neosho. Tough shot there, then in transition, knocks it in off the window. Smith scored 8 straight for Neosho to open the game. Carter Bosley, look at this, working in the lane. Don't know how he got the shot off, but he did. Neosho leads by 9 going to the second. In the second, 2 teams trade shots. Aiden Bard fighting for the board, makes his way back to the basket for 2. Other end, Carter Finsky steps out. Hits the 3 ball for Neosho. The Wildcats going to beat CJ 64-47. They're now 18-5 overall this season. On Southeast Kansas, career milestone tonight for Pittsburgh High School's Mason English. English tops 1,000 career points tonight in the Purple Dragons road game against Chanute. In addition to the milestone, Pittsburgh won the game 56-48 over 8th-ranked Blue Comets. The Missouri Southern Lions are off to a 6-2 start to the baseball season. Over the weekend, the Lions win on the road and dropped 2 out of 3 against Delta State. This afternoon, Southern tries to rebound, returning home for a non-conference game against East Central. In the first inning, Lions right to work with runners on the corners. Ethan Clark drives it off the fence out there and right. Henry Kuziak scores. Here comes Will Doherty sliding in behind him. Southern already up 5-0. Later in the inning with one on, Nate Miskowski high and deep to left center. Clears the fence out there, 2-run homer. First of the year for Miskowski. Lions get 8 in the first, but they're not done there. Second inning, 2 on for Ryan Doran. Dead center field, no problem. Clears the 400 sign out there. 3-run Jack Doran drives in 6 runs this afternoon. Missouri Southern pounds East Central 20-1. Pittsburgh State catcher Nixon Brannon is this week's MIAA hitter of the week. And Brannon was a monster for the Gorillas in their weekend series against Regis. In 4 games, he hit for a .412 average with a double, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Pitt State was 3-1 in those games. They're now 5-2 overall and will be back on the field on Friday afternoon hosting Sioux Falls. So a big win for the Carl Junction girls tonight. They're now 23-1 this season and ranked #1 in the state. So we'll be covering them for a few more weeks, hopefully.
I would think so. We'll be right back. You're going to want to hold on to your hat tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been windy. It's going to stay windy tonight. Tomorrow still, it's going to be breezy out there. Temperatures kind of all over the place. Northern counties in the 40s, southern counties in the 60s. Thunderstorms tomorrow night. Look at our high on Thursday, only 34.
Ooh. Final sports notes.
Well, we told you Mason English topped 1,000 career points tonight for Pittsburgh High School. He finished with 33 against Chanute, so another big game from him.
I guess so. Thanks for joining us. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.